Yeah, Matt, one of the things I've noticed in the last couple of times that we've talked to you is, talking about really kind of getting your life on track and being a better person and those sorts of things. And obviously we see a lot about the Matt Hardy brand. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the Matt Hardy brand is and how it sort of plays into this sort of newfound rejuvenation that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Matt Hardy brand are those words altogether. I mean, I am, my own business. Basically, if I'm going somewhere to wrestle, what people are paying to get is to see Matt Hardy the person and Matt Hardy the character. And I think as time has gone on, I've kind of almost, put these two people together. They've almost merged. So when I say Matt Hardy brand, obviously I'm selling myself, whatever it may be. If it's my personality or it's my life experiences or it's my influence or it's my meeting people who are fans coming up, who are getting a chance to come take a picture with me or sign an autograph, and it's trying to build upon that and also expand in different ways. Like, I actually have something I'm working on right now to do like a small part in a movie, and I would love to do some things like that. I have a lot of different things I would like to try out and explore, and I think it's just kind of a natural progression and a natural evolution as, some wrestling talent, gets older, as opposed to like being pro, like I got to get in the ring, I got to have the greatest match ever, I got to have this, I got to have that. It's almost like you have to branch out and do different things. It's kind of like a natural evolution. So basically the Matt Hardy brand is me trying to build myself into the biggest business I can make myself.
Listen, a lot of people have always liked you. You've always been one of the more popular wrestlers around, but there's always been a sect of wrestling fans that haven't liked either one of the Hardy Boys since you guys broke up as a tag team. Now, one perception I've seen a lot of is since you've gone on this indie run where you're going through all these other federations, and the Sami Callihan fight especially is getting some really big hype with you just did a video with the iPhones, which is very good too. It's starting to build some like grassroots credibility from the other guys who, like you said, the Extreme Rising guys, the guys who go to those kind of shows. Do you feel like the perception of you has changed since you started doing Ring of Honor and Extreme Rising and stuff like that?
It has a little bit. That's something that it's not going to change overnight for sure. But I think one of the things with Ring of Honor, which I think is a very valid point, and I'm sure this would lead me to be booed by Ring of Honor fans. I mean, the Ring of Honor fans live in their own universe. A lot of them said, "Oh, well, we don't want Matt Hardy, or we don't want his wrestling style here. We want our Ring of Honor faithful. We want our cult favorites in Ring of Honor." Much like say Adam Cole. Adam Cole's their guy, and they want to see him beat Matt Hardy's ass. But they also don't consider, the 12 years I had on, TV that was across the globe that would also help one of their faithfuls out, which would be Adam Cole. And I still feel like I have a lot to give back to the business, and I think having a match or some sort of program with him would do that, but they just reject that, because they just want to see their guy versus their guy, and they don't think about the big scheme of things. And something that, almost seems like part of a character aspect from a Matt Hardy, which might be looked upon as a heel character in a Ring of Honor, obviously. It's just that the Ring of Honor fans live in a Ring of Honor bubble. They actually, someone tweeted me. This was very odd, I thought. They said, "We don't stay out of Ring of Honor. We don't want you here because we don't want you bringing all your fans." And just to think about how much of an oxymoron that statement is there's someone who wants Ring of Honor to grow and thrive and be great and be good, yet they don't want more people to come and support Ring of Honor. So it's like if you get to that point where, you have 1,000 diehard Ring of Honor fans and they don't accept any newcomers with any different philosophies or any different favorite wrestlers, whoever they might be, then I think you're just kind of boxing yourself off and setting yourself up for failure. I think what Ring of Honor needs to do more than anything right now is still keep to their traditional method of wrestling and, really offering something that, a WWE or TNA doesn't do, but they have to grow, and they have to, and not everybody is going to be that percentage of educated fans either. So I think if I have people becoming there that, maybe are a Hardy Boys fan or a Matt Hardy fan, and they do see an Adam Cole or, they see, a Kevin Steen or, Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, whoever, and they go, "Oh, these guys are really good. I want to start following them and become a fan of them." I mean, that's just kind of how the business works, Once someone gets a lot of TV time and once they get a lot of exposure, they have to give back and help other people in other places.
I'm trying.
Yeah, Matt, I assume that you've kind of been following what's been going on with your brother Jeff in TNA, so I just wanted to get your perspective on what they've been doing with him in TNA and in terms of him winning the Bound for Glory series. And what are you kind of thinking about his pending feud with Austin Aries, and what would you like to see them do with Jeff, perhaps to better utilize him moving forward?
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, what they've done recently, I think, is the best decision they could do. I'm not just saying this because Jeff's my brother, but I would definitely say, and I think this is a pretty fair and accurate statement, Jeff is the biggest draw and person of name value that they have in TNA right now that they can use to kind of expand their brand and grow it. And I think having Jeff wrestle against someone like Austin Aries, who has a ton of potential and a ton of upside, isn't going to do anything but be good for Austin Aries. So there was a time where they really weren't utilizing Jeff very well, and now it's like they've kind of turned, the burner back on high again. And I think that's the best thing they could do for their business, because if you've got the guy there that has this sort of fan base and this kind of following, and it's so popular and helping put eyeballs on your product, I mean, utilize that guy as much as you can while he's there, especially while he's, healthy and he's such a model, good employee and doing everything by the books. So I applaud them on that. I give them a thumbs up. I just think that's the way to go. I mean, if you look at Jeff towards the end of his WWE run, they actually knew Jeff was leaving and he was on the way out, but, I mean, Jeff still had a run as the world champion during that time and was feuding with CM Punk. And he did so much to get over Punk's character and help Punk along so much at that point. It was ridiculous. But it wasn't one of those scenarios where it's like, oh, my God, this guy's leaving. Let's punish him before he leaves the territory. It's like, no, he's a big star. Let's use him and get as much as we can out of him while we're here. We're lucky to have this guy on our product, on our TV at this time.
BJ?
Yeah, Matt, with your knowledge of the business, I mean, very underrated. I think a lot of fans don't give you enough credit for everything you've done and, your thoughts and perspective on the business. When you go to places like Ring of Honor and Extreme Rising, are the guys backstage asking for your input? Are you trying to give them your input, whether it's creative or business-wise, or the wrestlers backstage?
There are times, obviously, where, guys will, ask me about, feedback from either their match or, kind of like whatever their storyline arc or whatever. But, mainly I just kind of go back. I try and sit back and be a fan. I tried to watch as much of the pay-per-view as I could and just enjoy it. And it was a hell of a pay-per-view. And Ring of Honor is loaded with just phenomenal athletes from top to bottom. I mean, it was a fun show to watch as a fan, just watching from backstage. I really enjoyed it. It's a shame they had all the technical, issues they had with the pay-per-view. But it's one of those things where if I can help and, give someone a new perspective on something or maybe help a light bulb go off in their head, then I love to do it, because I feel like a lot of people helped me. The person who helped me more than anyone else to really get the business, especially the psychology and the storytelling, and once again, who really set the light bulb off in my head was Michael PSAs. And as time went on, I continued to learn more and more from him. And that's in addition to all the other great talents and great minds that were at WWE that I worked with, during my run there. But for me to be able to get back and give some of these people, like, maybe a different perspective or some different insight and stuff, yeah, I love doing that. And I feel like I'm, giving back from what I've been given as well.
Our last question, Mike Hale.
Yeah, Matt, you talked about building out your own brand and maybe doing possible acting and some other things like that. But for all your fans, how long can they expect to see you continue to wrestle in a ring and entertain them that way?
I don't know. I mean, if I can stay healthy for a while, but once again, like, I know it kind of hinges on me taking care of my body. Me being smart with the way I wrestle, and me also being smart with the amount of times I wrestle, over the course of the year. So, I look back at guys like, Shawn Michaels, who came back after his back surgery, but he still had a very, scattered schedule, but he still, had 8-9 years of being great, during that time. And it's because he was smart. He was smart because he didn't work a lot. And when he did work, he went full throttle, but he was also very calculated with whatever risk and whatever chances he was taking. But Shawn Michaels is a guy to model, like, the way to live as you get older in the wrestling business. And once again, granted, I am nowhere near on the level of a star of Shawn Michaels. But still, as time goes on and as television gets better and as the wrestling business still looks to get back into the next big boom, whatever that might be, there's still a lot of guys that were on TV during the Attitude Era in the early 2000s that have a lot of name value. Unfortunately, I was one of them. I was blessed to be on TV during that era. So, I mean, there's still, like, a lot of name value, and I think I have a lot to get back to the business, and I have a lot that I can offer on, you know, any product, especially, like, on a TV capacity.
Yeah, listen, it's all true. You can add a lot. Now tell everybody where they can find you coming up, the November show and Extreme Rising, Ring of Honor, your website, all that jazz.
Well, to keep track of everything, go to MattHardyBrand.com. You can see my schedule on there. I'm touring the United States, and while you're at MattHardyBrand.com, you can keep up with all the new news on me, and also you can check out my shop, which is ShopMattHardy.com, and it's very cool, very different. Very different than any other wrestler shop anywhere on the planet. Not only do I have, like, you know, new merchandise just specifically for me, I also have ring-worn stuff and a lot of really cool things. So shopmatthardy.com and matthardybrand.com, that's the place to check out and look for any information about Matt Hardy. As far as upcoming shows you just touched on, this Saturday I actually have a show in Fishkill, New York. It's for Northeast Wrestling, where I'll be wrestling Sami Callihan for the first time ever. Hulk Hogan's going to be there. Roddy Piper's going to be there. It's a huge show from top to bottom. If you want more details on that, you can go to northeastwrestling.com. And November 17th, I'll be doing Extreme Rising in Philadelphia, which is looks to be a huge show, and it should be really cool because the last Extreme Rising show in Philadelphia was really good. They had their first show was a little rough. You know, I think some of the fans felt kind of burned, didn't come back the second time, but the second show was really great, and I thought it was a really good extreme niche wrestling show from top to bottom. So the one on November 17th will promises to be a good show, and I think the fans will come out in droves to see it.
Yeah, listen, Matt, we appreciate every time you come on your class act. Thank you, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, and you know, I appreciate you guys just letting me get on here and kind of say my piece, and I appreciate all the wrestling fans that tune in because once again, when it's all said and done, they make me, and without them, there would be no me. So I'll never forget that. When it's all said and done, in my soul, in my heart, I'm the biggest wrestling fan you ever meet. I love this business. I love being able to live out my dream and have the amazing life that I've had. And, I'm just going to keep working hard and try and get it, try and do the things that I need to do to allow it to continue.
Awesome, man. Listen, thank you so much, dude. We'll get you back on soon, man. Good luck at Extreme Rising and Ring of Honor and with Sami Callihan, man.
You got it, man. Thanks. You guys take care.